Hello everybody, welcome back to another tier list. Today we are ranking all the robots from Series 1, Episode 3 of Robot Wars. So, we're going to be changing up how we're ranking these here. We're still going to be ranking them based on their performance on the episode, but we're also going to be ranking them a bit off of how good I actually think the robot is. So, if it's a robot that was like, let's say it was Razor, and it just drove in the pit in the first round, it probably still wouldn't be ranked as a dud because it was a good robot that could have done well. So it'll just bumping up a tier if I feel like it was good. And for this heat, we have quite a few not very good robots. A lot of wedges. I think there's 4 wedges and then 2 unique robots. And I would say there's only 1 real robot, maybe 2, maybe Thunderbird, but they're the only 2. We have them in elimination order here, if I can get straight into it with Thunderbird 1. So, Thunderbird 1, it got eliminated the first round. It actually made it kind of far, but it got pinned by Shunt on the ramp, and that's kind of it. So, I think as a robot, it actually seemed kind of good. It had a ramming spike and a saw that might have actually been able to cut something. So I reckon it could have actually done alright. It just got pretty unlucky because of Shunt. So it will be going here. And now we start the wedge tier, which I think you're going straight into dud. Weisswig was a horrible robot. It was wooden, 26 kilograms. Was pretty quick, but since it was so light, that's not going to do anything. The only thing that's helping it was a wedge shape. It literally moved after they were supposed to stop, and that's the only reason they got through the first round and beat Thunderbird. So it's definitely going in dud because it shouldn't have even got to the second round. Did horrible in football, just don't even want to talk about it. Then we have Curella, who's also going in dud. It was just a heavier version of that with also wedge sides and made out stronger armor. Did fine in football. Actually could have beaten Robot Bruce maybe, which I think does actually bump it up here. But it just horrible driving, which got stuck on a grate and then immobilized, and it was out. Did all right in football though, and I guess and in the trial, it made it half the way, which is fine. Then we had Dreadnought, who was just most creative robot of the heat. It just took so many issues of it that it almost made it actually, I think it did made it. Yeah, it was the only robot this time to actually make it to the end. Oh, I think Robot Bruce did as well. But it did make it, and that definitely gets it. I think I'm going to put it did fine because it made it. It looks like it has some lifting forks. It did, it somehow, it only won, it didn't even move in football. And it only got through because robots hit the ball into it, which made the judges think that it hit the ball, and then it got through from that. And then it's one fight, it broke down, but it was actually winning that fight against Wedgehog until that moment. It just couldn't, it could have won it on the Grail, but it couldn't get its fork off of Wedgehog, so it had to reverse, and that also pushed Wedgehog off the Grail. And now we have Wedgehog. He might even be down here, really. Wedgehog is actually a dud robot. It is bad, and I'm so surprised it got to the heat final. How did it even get there? Its axe is useless, and its design is sort of good. It's just a wedge, which the Corella is just a better version of it. It's not that heavy. I don't think it's even that quick. So, no. It luckily beat, well, in its first round, what do you call it? Wedgehog, yeah. It almost made it, which is fine. It did make it through the maze, which is alright. And then in this fight, it did nothing, and it somehow won it. And then the final got bullied by the Bruce until it got pushed onto the Grail and immobilized. In the football, it did score the second goal with some alright driving. But it was just fine. Really, Robot Rouge did better, and it's just a worse version of Cruella, which puts it in a dud and has somehow managed to get to the heat final. Then we have Robot Bruce, who's definitely the best robot in this heat, but it probably isn't going up there with those guys. It's probably not up there, there. I did not know that George Francis made Robot Bruce. That's pretty cool. It was definitely got a bit lucky in its fight with Cruella, because Cruella did some horrible driving and just killed itself. But I feel like it's a fine robot. It was heavy, it could hit hard, it was kind of fast. So I think that it was as a robot, it was fine. It did perform well. One reason it is here is because it pushed dead metal. It had enough power to just straight up push dead metal, which is amazing. What else did you do? You had very good control. You were the first one to score a goal in the football. You luckily beat Cruella, and in your heat final, which was it was an actual KO, the only actual KO in the heat, I'm pretty sure. So it pushed Wedgehog onto. It was actually a pretty good push as well. It got behind Wedgehog and then it pushed it onto a Grail and it got stuck. For about the sixth time in this heat, a robot got stuck on a Grail, and that got it the win. It won the heat. It's just fine. It's probably on the same level as Kiddertron. I reckon that Kiddertron would beat it though, but none of these guys would beat it, except maybe if you put Cruella. Cruella probably could beat it, maybe even Thunderbird, but that's about it because of their shape. So that is this episode's ranking. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the tier list. This was quite a dead episode for the show, really. A bunch of wedges, and the only good robot was Robot the Bruce. It was pretty boring to watch. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.